Hello and welcome to the virtual towers of Binary Arcadia, where the games go on long into the night. Thank you for joining us for another episode in our series, The Top 10 Games of All Time. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to go back and check out the proper introduction video for more information. And I hope you enjoyed this next game as much as I did. 3 right into 2 left, no cut, over crest, 4 right, slippery, jump and across the line. Where have we arrived? At the incredible Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Released in 2001 by Polyphony Digital, exclusively on the PlayStation 2. The game has one of the highest games rankings of all time at 94.54%. It's often listed amongst the greatest games of all time. Fun fact, the game sold over 3 million copies in the first 3 days of release and has gone on to sell nearly 3 million units worldwide. Impact. You'd be forgiven for thinking this was just another driving game. The series had already carved out a reputation for taking driving seriously. Perhaps the most unique feature being the simulation mode, which challenged the players to complete licenses, which in turn allowed you to complete in a series of races and challenges, ranging from endurance races to rallying. GT3 doubled down on the simulation mode, now renamed Gran Turismo mode. Following Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1, every car and track received extensive makeovers thanks to the extra grunt of the PS2. In total there were 19 tracks and around 180 different cars. The level of detail on each car demanded more from the developers, and for this reason the car count reduced significantly from GT2's 650. Wow. It was very much a case of quality over quantity. The game received critical acclaim for its almost photorealistic rendering of cars. This attention to detail went beyond just the graphics too. The characteristics of each car were tweaked in order to represent the real-life handling of each model. You could even upgrade your cars in terms of their actual performance, which had another layer of depth. This was my version of Pokemon, except my legendary was a Suzuki Escudo Pike Peaks. Personal experience. This was and is my favourite racing game of all time, the only caveat being that I haven't played any of the Forza titles. I know these are held in very high regard by its fans, so I can't speak with ultimate authority. Strangely, I never owned GT3 though. I actually borrowed it from brother Tabs. When I say borrowed, I really mean long-term lend. The game took months to work through. Tabs won't thank me for reminding him, but I also inadvertently deleted his save file. Oops. I instantly fell head over heels for this game. I really enjoyed the difficulty and pacing. It was so rewarding when you could finally upgrade your car by a marginal increment, which would help you win a tough race. It was a gameplay loop that I couldn't get enough of, the feeling of hard-fought progression. Taking a car that would come nowhere in a race and tweaking its specs, adding some better tyres, some new engine parts, and then seeing it blitz the field. Satisfying. I got to a stage on the game where I desperately wanted one of the few hidden F1 cars. You could win these by completing in the various endurance races. These were monster races which took hundreds of laps to complete. So, I hatched a cunning plan to beat the speedway stage. Except it wasn't me at all, but a convoluted control rig which involved tying the analog stick off to trace the wall of the oval track, with blue tap keeping the accelerator held down. Then you just put your feet up for an hour or so. Genius. Or at least I felt like one. Unorthodox I know, but it worked, and I was able to bag my first GT3 F1 car. Longevity. Given the fact this is still my favourite driving game today, I would say it's still very current. The graphics, although at the time looked incredible, would look a bit ropey these days. However, it's the level of simulation they managed to instill in the game that keeps it driving into the night. Although games have moved on, the standard here was so high, even Polyphony Digital have struggled to better it in modern iterations. Right, let's get on to scoring. I'm going to score this an impact of 5, personal experience of 5, and a longevity of 5. That gives us another perfect score of 15 out of 15. Well, that's another video done. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Feedback's always welcome. Remember to subscribe and click that bell for notifications. And that's another video for the archive. Stamped and completed.